Hello, welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I am working on 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life, Series 12. I am working on day number 12, which is an exclusive sketch designed by Miss Carrie. I will have any of her social media links below in the description box, and also the collaborative playlist for this series will also be linked below. This sketch is super fun, and I will probably follow it pretty close to exact. I have pulled some product from my pet themed drawer. Yes, I have one of those, and it's mostly cats. It's not, I don't have much dog stuff in there anymore because I've used a lot of the dog stuff. I pulled 3 dies, a scrap of craft cardstock, some scraps of yellow, and a piece of white cardstock for my base. I pulled some of these, I think you would call them enamel hearts, but they're a metal base with enamel in them, and some alphas and a set of phrase stickers. I also have my handy dandy bingo card, and I'm not sure what I'm going to cross off this time. So far I have crossed off 11 items from my list. I might be able to bring in some wood veneer. We'll see. That's the one that I'm kind of leaning towards, but we'll see. And if I don't get one this time, well, there's only 25 squares on it, so, and one of those 25 is a free space, so that means I can reasonably skip a day and still get my blacked out bingo card by the end of the month. So I know that several other of the players are trying to do an entire line at a time, and that is super fun and super cool, but I am going to just try to do a blackout and just use 1 square per layout. So anyway, let's get started with this. To build my background, I wanted to get these pattern papers cut into strips, and some of my strips are shorter than they need to be for the layering underneath this photo block. So I cut more than one, and just kind of, I'm going to layer them up in the middle. So they're going to meet in the middle. Here is what my background looks like. I glued everything down, and then I did some hand stitching on those strips, and now I'm going to add these photos. These are photos of my son with his new puppy. This is Vice, and he is a white German Shepherd. I feel like this month I'm doing all of the doggy layouts. It seems like I have a bunch of doggy photos to scrapbook, so that's kind of fun. Anyway, I did go ahead and I die cut my hearts, and I hand stitched around my hearts as well. Normally, when I create a layout like this with all this layering, I try to put my title down first, but in this instance, I'm going to go ahead and put my stitched hearts down, and I'm just going to work my title around it. And I'm doing it that way because I want to make sure that there's room for the stitched hearts, but I also want to make sure that I have room for this title because my title is rather large, and I'm using 2 different fonts for it. So this charcoal colored alpha set is from Felicity Jane, and I bought 2 packs of this, and funny thing, they didn't have very many Y's, so that is actually the first letters that I used up on both sheets. And so I make a Y for this by cutting down an X, and it's kind of a lowercase y, but it looks okay. The next part of my title, I'm going to use this word love from this phrase sheet, and that almost uses up that phrase sheet. That kind of makes me happy. Now I only have one more word and those outline hearts. That's kind of cool. Goal is to use stuff, right? So next, I'm going to go ahead and cut those strips for that lower right-hand corner. I am actually going to use that as an anchoring point for some journaling. I'm going to layer up the strips. I'm going to add a couple of those outline hearts, or at least one outline heart and an enamel heart from an Allie Edwards story kit, and then I'm going to journal above all of that. So as I'm looking at this layout, I just don't like that bare white background. So I decide after I've gotten all of this complete that I am going to add some splatters. I'm using a Tim Holtz Distress dauber to do that. I just kind of squished it out onto my glass mat. Remember that these distress stain daubers are already watered down, so you don't really have to add water to them. The sprinkles just weren't enough in my opinion, so I go ahead and I add some ink smushing as well. Normally I would not recommend adding ink like this after you've completed a layout, but I was able to do it pretty easily and I felt like it looked better. I do want to thank you for stopping by my channel today. If you liked this video, please click that thumbs up button. If you are not a subscriber, I would love to have you subscribe. Just click that button below as well. If you have any comments or questions about this layout, just drop them in the comments below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. You have a great rest of your day. Bye.